In my home, there's 2 weeks that are very important to my family. One is Holy Week, which includes Jesus' triumphal entry, Easter, the death, burial, and resurrection. That whole Holy Week is very important. The other one is pretty important too. That's Shark Week on Discovery Channel. We love Shark Week, and I'm a huge fan of sharks. I love sharks. There was a story I read several years back that inspired me to do a devotional today and deals with sharks. Let me take you back to November the 26th, 1964, down in Australia. There's a guy named Henry Borsch. Henry Borsch was a recreational diver. He'd go underwater with friends doing some photography. This one particular day, they were photographing sea lions out in this island outside in the ocean near the Great Barrier Reef. And they had been doing this for about an hour, capturing the video stills of sea lions. And then all of a sudden the ocean was empty. And they couldn't understand what was wrong. Everything was gone. Fish, sea lions, everything was gone. And they couldn't understand what it was. And then something inside their diver sense began to tell them, something's wrong, we need to get out of here. Henry Borsch never saw the shark coming. He never saw it hit him. It was a great white, a massive one. Had clamped down on his leg, began to drag him underwater and almost drowned him. Had his leg not been bitten completely off, he would have drowned. And as he came back up and got some air, some friends came and rescued him, took him to shore, had amputated his leg right above his knee. Henry Borsch would go to the hospital, get his leg sutured up. An incredible story in itself. 1 month later, Henry Borsch was out diving again with an artificial leg. 1968, it's kind of lightning striking twice. Henry Borsch loved diving so much he became a professional diver on oil rigs. And as he was down diving, he was attacked by a shark again. And a shark had come up, a great white, had grabbed his artificial leg and pulled it off. Here's a man who lost the same leg twice. From there on, he would put a special made fin attached to the stump of his leg, and he'd just swim like that and just forget the leg. He was tired of sharks coming after it. Maybe he didn't need that leg after all. The fault was not with the sharks. Sharks were doing what sharks do. They swim, they eat, that's about it. The fault was not with the shark, but with Henry Borsch, a man who was swimming in shark-infested waters, swimming where he knew sharks would be, especially where the sea lions were. It's like swimming in the buffet line, and you just accidentally get bit because they mistake you for something else. The Bible says something along this line. I want to share it with you. Matthew chapter 5, starting in verse 29. It talks about temptations. This particular passage is dealing with adultery, but it deals with temptations particularly in this manner. And it says, if your right eye causes you to sin, pluck it out and cast it far from you. For it is more profitable for you that one of your members perish than for your whole body to be cast into hell. And if your right hand causes you to sin, cast it off from you. For it is more profitable for you that one of your members perish than for your whole body to be cast into hell. God requires out of you and out of me holiness, no matter what. And as you live the Christ life, as you're trying to follow Jesus' examples and follow in His footsteps, Jesus walked in the path of holiness. How could we not? And we could say, well, that's for Jesus, that's for pastors, that's for other people. But no, the path of holiness is what we're to be walking on. Holiness isn't so much what you dress or your length of hair, makeup or no makeup. Those are side products. Holiness is not something that is accomplished on the outside. Holiness is accomplished on the inside and works its way out. If you decorate the outside in a certain way but are not holy inside, you're still unholy. And God requires holiness of us. not to be flirting with danger, not to get as close to the fence as we can. Because if we live as a fence hugger, we're going to miss God. We're going to miss some of the greatest things God could have simply because we cannot say no. Proverbs chapter 4 says it in another way. In Proverbs 4, starting verse 23, it says, "Keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it spring the issues of life. Put away from you a deceitful mouth, and put perverse lips far from you. Let your eyes look straight ahead, and your eyelids look right before you. Ponder the path of your feet, and let all your ways be established. Do not turn to the right or to the left. Remove your foot from evil." The thing that God desires of you is authenticity in your faith. You're not going to be perfect, and I'm not. There's never been anybody except Jesus alone that's ever been perfect. So perfection is not what we're after, but authenticity. I live what I believe. As you go about your week this week, would you make it a matter of prayer? Is my life authentic before God? Am I living holy before God? Am I living in a way that is pleasing? Not necessarily that I've got a halo over my head and I'm about to sprout feathery wings. But when God looks at me, does God see me doing right? Live this week authentically in your faith. Live this week saying, I'm not going to get as close as I can to danger. I'm not going to swim in shark-infested waters. Instead, I'm going to live in a place where God is and God approves of. God bless you. I love you. And know that you're going to have a great week this week.